I reached top 300 and just shy of a 2000 rating on Arena, introducing the most evil team ever created, Night Terror. I'm Axie Explained, let's jump right in. Now, before I show you the team with the cards and the strategies, let me just jump into some general statistics. I started playing with the Night Terror team 4 days ago and played 150 games. I started at a rating of 1414 and the highest rating I achieved was 1985. And my highest position on the leaderboard was 235, so almost into the top 200. In my 150 games, I won 90 of those, drew 4, and lost the other 56, giving me a win rate of 61.3%, which is really good considering that most of my games took place in the highest rating levels. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the fun stuff. I would categorize Night Terror as an aggro team build that plays very fast with very little energy. But there are two main things that makes this team special. Number one, I have absolutely zero energy steal cards in my lineup. And this is because if you look at cards like Sirius, if they don't steal you energy, they're pretty much a useless card. So I went for cards that did damage instead. The second thing that makes my team special is that I use a lot of bug type moves on my Axies, and the reason for this is that bug type moves are very strong against reptiles and plants, arguably two of the most common Axies you see on the arena today. These bug type moves also enable the star of my build, the card Terror Chomp. Terror Chomp does a lot of damage, it's a bug type move, and also more importantly, it applies fear to the opponent when played in a chain. So if you don't know what a chain means, it means that another Axie from the team must also have played a bug move in the same turn that you use Terror Chomp in order for the ability to be activated. Okay, let's take a look at my team. So I use a plant as my front line, a reptile as my mid laner, and a bird at the back. So let's start with the reptile since it will be simplest to explain. I used a normal Terminator reptile build and it cost me around 0.22 ETH. It uses the abilities Sticky Goo, Mystic Rush, Allergic Reaction, and Chomp. If you need an explainer on how the Terminator build works, please check out this other video I made explaining that. Now to get into the really interesting Axies of my build, the plant and bird. So I picked up this plant for only 0.14 ETH. As you can see, it uses the ability Terror Chomp, which is very unique for a plant, and also has Jar Barrage. So it has a lot of damage, but very little shield. The Jar Barrage works very well against beasts by soaking all of their first Ronin or Nutcracker attack, and in this regard is a lot stronger than Pumpkin, which will only soak 121 of the damage. Also, don't forget the 80 additional damage it does. The only thing I kinda dislike about my plant right now is its back ability, which is Shroom's Grace. I would really like to replace this with another ability that also does damage or maybe gives a little shield. I think good examples of this might be Timber or Croc would also be a very good move. And the final ability that my plant uses is Prickly Tap, another damage ability. Another unique thing about my tank is that its stat is 33, which makes it faster than most of the tanks out there, which is very important because that means I get to use Terror Chomp on them before it is their turn to move, which disables the first two moves they make. Now, the thing that makes this Terror Chomp combinations really work is the bird. It is a very unique bird, so it took me a long time to find and it cost me 0.215 ETH. It also uses the ability Terror Chomp and is usually the fastest Axie in the match, except when you're playing against other birds. The value of it being faster is that I can usually apply fear to another Axie before they get a chance to move. This, in combination with Snail Shell from the Terminator, makes it that an Axie usually only hits 1 out of their 4 cards used, which is so disgustingly evil, I always chuckle when that happens. The Smart Shot allows me to kill off beasts and other mid laners very quickly, sometimes even on turn 1. And the all-out shot is also extremely important, as it allows me to do insane amount of burst damage without using any energy. It also allows me to get out of stuns from the other Terminator reptiles without wasting any energy or taking any damage. The bird plays another crucial role in my team, as it does good damage against aquas, which is necessary since my other bug moves do 15% less damage against them. Okay, let's take a look at some of the overall strategies of my team. First and foremost, I usually spend all my energy on turn 1 trying to kill their plant. And the reason for this is that I don't want to leave any energy left for them to steal with, making their serious moves pretty much useless. Usually I have enough damage to have their plant killed by round 2 while they're still trying to defeat my plant. After I kill their plant and they're still busy with mine, I usually skip a turn to reset some of their energy so that I can burst down the other Axies. Because of the awesome all-out shot, 2 energy is sometimes enough to take out aquas and beasts, so I don't always have to rest here. And the final thing that makes my team so awesome is that I use Terror Chomp and Sticky Goo to create an impenetrable wall. Like I said earlier, the Terror Chomp from my bird, the Snail Shell's Stun, makes it so that an Axie can barely do anything. On top of that, if we are in a 2v2 situation, my bird's Smart Shot makes it so that if I can accurately predict which of their Axies will move next, that I can target that one with fear. So as you can see, the overall strategy is that the team goes in very quickly to kill the plant and then builds a massive shield while it takes out the other Axies in combination with insane burst damage from the bird and all-out shot. Now let's quickly take a look at some other fun tactics that this team allows you to do. Number 1, it's sometimes possible to kill an aqua on turn 1. Number 2, insane speed plus destructive power. Like in this game, where I can take out his first 2 Axies in the first 2 rounds. I know a lot of crits happened, but this happens more often than you think. Overall, this team is extremely fun to play with, but it is quite a difficult team to play because you need to be able to predict your opponent's moves well. You must know when to accelerate and do a lot of burst damage, or when to hold back and save up a bit. And you must accurately determine which Axie to fear. In my next video, I will show you some tips and tricks that helped me along the way to reach the 2000 rating in Arena. Thanks for watching, everyone. Axie Explained out.